Hello students, welcome once again. Stay home, stay safe, stay connected. Today we will design a cantilever retaining wall which retains the earth mass of height 5 meter above lower ground level. Here the SBC of soil, that is the soil bearing capacity of soil, is 175 kN per meter square. Angle of repose, also known as angle of internal friction phi, is equals to 30 degree. Frictional coefficient mu is equals to 0.55. Unit weight of soil is 18 kN per meter cube. Grade of concrete is M20 and grade of steel is Fe415. Here we are supposed to fix the basic dimensions and carry out the stability check of retaining wall. Also, we are supposed to design and detail all structural components of retaining wall. We will design our complete retaining wall in a step-by-step manner. Our step 1 is to determine the coefficient of earth pressure. Here the given data is angle of repose or the angle of internal friction of soil, that is known as phi, is 30 degree. Therefore, the active earth pressure, also known as Ka, is equals to 1 minus sin phi upon 1 plus sin phi, which gives out to be 1 by 3. Also, the passive earth pressure, which is also an inverse of an active earth pressure, comes out to be 3. Our step 2 deals with preliminary proportions of wall dimensions. Given data are gamma, that is the density of soil, is 18 kN per meter cube. SBC of soil, that is the soil bearing capacity of soil, Q0, has 175 kN per meter square. First, we are supposed to determine the depth of foundation. Minimum depth of foundation will be carried out by soil mechanics equation, that is Q0 upon gamma 1 minus sin phi upon 1 plus sin phi whole square. This comes out to be 1.08 meter. We will round it to 1.20 meter. Therefore, we will try a depth of foundation as 1.2 meter. The figure shows the foundation depth and the soil retention height. Second step is to determine the overall height of retaining wall. Height of soil to be retained as given in numerical is 5 meter. Foundation depth derived in our previous portion as 1.2 meter. Therefore, total height of retaining wall will be 6.0 meter. This is also shown in our figure. Here, the total height of retaining wall will be equals to soil retention height, that is 5 meter, plus foundation depth, that is 1.2 meter. Addition of these two gives out to be 6.2 meter. In next step, we will go for a calculation of width of base slab. For cantilever T-shaped wall, minimum base width can be calculated with the help of classic equation of soil mechanics, that is under root of 3p upon 2 gamma. Pressure at base of slab P is equals to the area of pressure diagram. Here the base of pressure diagram is equals to Ka gamma h. Height is 6.2 meter. Therefore, formula comes out to be 1 half base into height, 1 half, that is Ka gamma h into h, which comes out to be 115.32 kilonewton. Substituting the value of P and gamma in the equation of B, we get the base width as 3.1 meter. Again, consider a toe width that will be equals to near about 1/3 of B. This is based on the experience and thumb rules being used in the practical field. It's one third of B comes out to be 1.03 meter. Therefore, we will try a toe width of a rounded value 1.0 meter and base width is 3.30 meter. This is also shown in the figure aside. Next step is to determine the thickness of base slab. For economical dimension, thickness should be in the range of 1/12 of its overall height to 1/15 of its overall height. Therefore, this range comes out to be between 0.52 meters to 0.41 meters. We will adopt a base slab thickness as 0.5 meter. This is also shown in the figure. The next step is to calculate the thickness of stem at base. Here, the height of stem can be derived by deducting the base thickness from overall height of the retaining wall. We will get this height to be 5.7 meter. Pressure intensity at stem base, that is at this point, will be equals to Ka gamma H, where Ka is the active soil coefficient, that is 1 by 3 into gamma comes out to be 18 and height is 5.70 meters. The equation gives the value 34.20 kilonewton per meter square. This is the base of the triangle. Now the total pressure at stem base will be equals to the area of this triangle. Area of this triangle, that is 1/2 base into height, that is 1/2 Ka gamma H into H. The equation gives the value 97.47 kilonewton per meter length of the wall. Here we have considered 1 meter length of the wall. This pressure exerted is for 1 meter length of the wall. Therefore, CG of a triangle will be at 1/3 of its height, that is 5.70 divided by 3 comes out to be 1.90 meter. Therefore, maximum moment at stem base will be equals to total pressure derived in previous slide into center of gravity distance. The answer will be 185.19 kilonewton meter per meter length of the wall. Therefore, the factored moment will be 277.78 kilonewton meter per meter length of the wall. For Fe 415 steel, referring the table number C given on page number 10 of SP16, we get the equation for ultimate moment mu is equals to 0.138 FCK BD square. Here FCK is the grade of concrete. Substituting the value of mu, FCK, B, which is the length of wall, we have considered 1 meter length of wall is equals to 1000 mm into D square. Therefore, D comes out to be 317.25 mm. Now, consider 50 mm effective cover. Therefore, total depth of stem at stem base will be equals to 315.27 derived in our previous slide plus 50 mm gives out to be 367.25 mm. Therefore, we will try a total depth of stem at stem base as 400 mm, which is also equals to 0.4 meter. Try top width of stem as 200 mm, which is also equals to 0.2 meter. This is also shown in the figure in an red circle. In the next slide, we will assume the shear key slab size. We will try a shear key of size 0.4 meter width and 0.5 meter depth below the base slab to prevent sliding of retaining wall. This is shown in the figure in a red circle. These all are the preliminary dimensions which we have derived in our previous slide. Here, soil retention height, which is a given data of 5 meter. Below it, we are having a foundation depth of 1.2 meter. We have derived the base width as 3.2 meter. Base slab thickness as 0.5 meter. We have derived stem slab thickness at base as 0.4 meter and at top as 0.2 meter. Here, overall height of the retaining wall, which includes stem height and base slab thickness, as 6.2 meter. We have assumed the shear key slab depth as 0.5 meter and shear key slab width as 0.4 meter. Here, toe width as 1 meter. With all these dimensions, we will go for a stability check. Our third step is to calculate the stability of our retaining wall. That is a stability check. First, we will calculate the horizontal force or horizontal load acting on retaining wall. The horizontal active earth pressure intensity at the base of stem is equals to Ka gamma h. This will be the base of our triangle. This comes out to be 37.2 kilonewton. The horizontal forces is tabulated as given below. Here the horizontal load will be equals to the area of a triangle, which comes out to be 115.32 kilonewton. Its distance from point A is 1/3 of its overall height, which will be equals to 2.07 meter. Force into perpendicular distance will give the moment about point A. That comes out to be 238.71 kilonewton meter. Therefore, the sliding force will represent it as PAH will be equals to 115.32 kilonewton and overturning moment MO will be equals to 238.71 kilonewton meter. Now, we will calculate the vertical loads acting on retaining wall. We will consider the density of concrete as 25 kilonewton per meter cube and density of the soil, which is given as 18 kilonewton per meter cube. First of all, we will calculate the gravity load of backfill, which is represented by W1. Here, width of hill slab that will be equals to overall width of base slab minus toe width minus stem base width, that is 3.3 meter minus 1 meter minus 0.4 meter, it will give the width of hill slab, into the height of retaining wall, that is 5.7 meter. Width of hill slab multiplied by 5.7 into the density of soil will give total weight of soil on hill slab. Its distance from point A will be equals to 1 meter plus 0.4 meter plus width of hill slab divided by 2. That comes out to be 2.35 meter. Vertical force multiplied by perpendicular distance will give a moment about point A, which will be equals to 458.11 kilonewton. The stem portion will be divided into two portions. One will be a rectangle portion and one will be a triangle portion. The rectangle portion is having its width 0.2 meter and its height as 5.7 meter. Here 0.2 is the width, 5.7 is the height and 25 is the density of concrete, which gives 28.50 kilonewton in a vertical downward direction. Its CG distance from point A will be equals to 1 meter plus 0.2 meter plus 0.2 by 2. That's a CG of an rectangle. It's 1 meter, 0.2 plus 0.2 by 2. That gives 1.30 meter. Multiplying these two values will give the moment about point A, which comes out to be 37.05 kilonewton meter. The triangle portion of stem will be equals to 1 half base width, that is 0.2 meter, into height, that is 5.7 meter. Here for triangle it's 1 half into height is 5.7 into base is 0.2 meter into concrete density, which gives 14.25 kilonewton in vertical downward direction. Its CG distance will be equals to 1 meter, that is toe width, plus 2/3 of this base width, that is 2/3 of 0.2. 1 plus 2/3 of 0.2 gives 1.13 meter, and multiplication of these two values will give a moment about point A, that will be equals to 16.10 kilonewton meter. Now the weight of base slab represented by W4 will be equals to length of base slab into thickness of base slab into density of concrete. Length of base slab is length of base slab into thickness of base slab into density of concrete, and its CG distance from point A will be equals to width of base slab divided by 2, that is 3.30 divided by 2, which gives 1.65 meter. Multiplication of these two values will give moment about A, which comes out to be 68.06 kilonewton meter. And last is the shear key slab weight. Here the shear key dimensions are 0.4 meter width and 0.5 meter depth. Therefore 0.4 meter is the width, 0.5 meter is the depth, into density will give a 5 kilonewton weight in a vertical downward direction, and its distance from point A will be equals to 1 meter toe width plus 0.4 divided by 2, that's a rectangle CG, which gives 1.2 meter, and multiplication of this 5 and 1.20 gives 6 kilonewton per meter cube, which is the moment about point A. Summation of all these vertical force comes out to be 283.94 kilonewton, and summation of all these moments comes out to be 585.32 kilonewton meter. Therefore, total downward force, that is sigma W, will be equals to 283.94 kilonewton from our previous slide, and resisting moment or restoring moment represented by MR will be equals to 585.32 kilonewton, also derived from our previous table. Now we are supposed to determine the eccentricity of vertical force from the center of the base slab. Let the distance of CG of vertical load from the face of toe, that is from point A, is x as shown in figure. Therefore, summation of all vertical load into x should be equals to the net moment at point A. Therefore, x will be equals to net moment is mr minus mo, that is 585.32 minus 238.71 divided by sigma w, that is equals to 283.94, that comes out to be 1.22 meter. This is the distance of vertical load from point A. Therefore, eccentricity E can be calculated as b by 2 minus x, that is 3.3 divided by 2 minus 1.22 gives 0.43 meter from base slab center. Now we are supposed to go for a stability check number 1, which is the soil pressure check. Here the Pmax, it's a maximum pressure at toe, will be equals to sigma W upon B into bracket 1 plus 6 times the eccentricity divided by base width. That will be equals to vertical force submission, that is 283.94 divided by base width, that is 3.3, into bracket 1 plus 6 times the eccentricity, that is 0.43 as derived in our previous slide, divided by 3.3, that is the base width. Value comes out to be 153.31 kilonewton per meter square, which is at toe. Here this value is smaller than SBC of the soil, that is 175 kilonewton per meter square. Hence, our maximum pressure at toe is in a safer limit. In the same line, we can calculate the P minimum, which comes out to be 18.77 kilonewton per meter square, which is acting at heel. This should be greater than 0 for no tension condition. Our derived value, that is 18.77, is greater than 0, hence our heel slab is also in a safer range. Our stability check number 2, that's a factor of safety against overturning. We have derived a restoring moment Mr as 585.32 kilonewton meter. Again, overturning moment is also derived from our previous slide, that is MO is 238.71 kilonewton meter. Factor of safety against overturning is nothing but its ratio of restoring moment to overturning moment. Value comes out to be 2.45. According to clause number 20.1 given on page number 33 of IS 456-2000, factor of safety against overturning should be greater or equals to 1.55. Our derived value is 2.45, which is greater than 1.55. Hence, our retaining wall is safe against overturning. Now we will move towards a stability check number 3, that is a factor of safety against sliding. Sliding force, also known as PAH, is equals to 115.32 as derived in our slide number 13. Frictional force will be equals to the frictional coefficient times the gravitational force, that is 0.55, it's a given value, into 283.94 will give 156.17 kilonewton. This is a frictional resisting force. Again, passive pressure under the base of the key PP is equals to Ka gamma H1. H1 is the base slab height plus key slab depth, that is 0.5 plus 0.5 gives 1.0 meter. Therefore, PP, it's a passive pressure, will be equals to 3 times 18 times 1 is the height, is equals to 84 kilonewton, is equals to 54 kilonewton per meter square. Therefore, total passive pressure will be equals to the area of this triangle. So 1/2 this base, which is having a value of 54 kilonewton per meter square, into height, this height is 1 meter. 1/2 54 into 1 gives 27 kilonewton. Therefore, total resisting force, that is equals to the frictional resistance plus passive pressure, which gives the value of 183.17 kilonewton. Therefore, factor of safety against sliding is equals to the ratio of restoring force to the sliding force, which comes out to be 1.59. According to the clause number 20.2, page number 33 of IS 456-2000, factor of safety against sliding should be greater or equals to 1.55. As our factor comes out to be 1.59, which is greater than 1.55, hence our retaining wall is safe against sliding. In this lecture, we have gone for an one-third portion of the solution of your retaining wall. This carries nearly 7 marks weightage in your GTU exam. In next lecture, we will go for a design of various elements of a retaining wall. With this, we conclude our lecture. Thank you.